Hey gang, for those of you who enjoy QF, a podcast about Howard Stern, and would like to donate to us just via PayPal, you can, using the email address johnnythegreek21@gmail.com. You can check the link in the description for the spelling, and it's also here on the graphic. And if you'd like to do more in terms of donations or subscriptions, you can use our Patreon account and subscribe via the Black Kluge level, and you can receive our weekly content that we're putting only on Patreon. It's exclusive for that platform. And anything over $5 is just gravy, guys. We love you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Anybody, any engineers want to pop on? Tell me why Robin can't hear me.
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
I don't even know if I'm on the air right now. So
Howard, you were not being heard by anybody.
I guess I'm not. Hello?
I can't. I don't know if he can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you right now. Now you just froze.
The Howard Stern Show.
See, I had a weird, confusing early sexual fantasy, and I was always mystified by it. I was into the TV show Honey West.
Yes.
Anne Francis. She was hot. Blonde, big boobs, the whole deal.
Right.
And my mom got me a book, a Honey West book. And I was reading about it, and in one little page in the book, Honey West was like bound and gagged by a group of dudes, and they were going to do weird crap to her. So I remember laying in bed as a little kid, imagining that I was Honey West strapped down in the bed, spread eagle.
Now that's weird.
So I said, wait a second, I might be gay.
Really? Why do you want to be Honey West?
Why am I identifying with Honey West?
I think you're just a masochist. I think that's the thing. You know, you want to be tied down.
I wanted to be tied down.
Like, it dawned on me like 2 days ago, my hair's going to get crazy because I don't have, I'm not going to get a haircut. And then Beth goes, I'll cut your hair, but you can't cut my hair because my hair is curly. It's
hard to cut your hair.
Would you do me a favor? Would you pretend that I am Bahati? I'm sitting here. I'm going to be honest with you. It's hot in the garage. I'm wearing a bra top. And I only have panties on. I'm being honest.
Can you go a little slower? Just talk about it.
You have underwear on under that robe?
There ain't nothing gay about him. All right, like the one main thing I was talking to these guys about yesterday, when we went to Las Vegas, it was 3 days of shows, porn stars, strippers, everything out there, right? Yeah. Howard starts off the show. His first observation is he saw Casey down at the pool with his shirt off. Like, that's his first observation.
Yeah, but what you don't lie,
5 hours later.
Why are you eating home fries? You're getting a little bit of a belly.
Oh, look at Stock.
You know I like my girls shaved.
Making out with the guy in the back seat.
I don't think it was at that time, Howard. It was another time. It was like he was just on the side, like he was in front of his house making out with the guy.
Oh, they couldn't even get indoors.
No, they were on the street.
But wait, what is this about the book?
He's caught.
I think Ralph really did this.
Did you make out with a guy?
Oh, Ralph.
What happened? What are you, high?
No, this is...
I was gay way before I met Beth.
Welcome, everybody, to QF, a podcast about Howard Stern. I'm Jim Fix, a.k.a. Fillmore, your host, and with me is Raven. How are you, my dear?
I'm doing good. What's up?
Well, not too much. We're just hoping you guys are enjoying your your winters wherever you are in the new year, and because that's when this is going to be released. And we're sorry to be going a little further back, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. And we're going to get caught up eventually. Just, we're just counting on Wiggy to lose shows more and more, and then we can get caught up in the interim. Just a few PSAs before we get started, guys. Some of you may have noticed that there's a few more edits made by YouTube, really by SiriusXM, on our YouTube feed, like whatever videos I've rendered. But so going forward, we're just going to apologize in advance and say if the episode seems to be truncated by however long, an hour or half hour, and you think, well, that kind of stinks. Well, we're sorry. There's not much we can do about that because we have no way of knowing exactly what episodes or what bits on shows have been pre-recorded and ID tagged. That's the only big thing. It's not an issue of, oh, this is too controversial, he doesn't want it on the air. It's like, no, they just pre-recorded it and people were smart to ID tag certain things, but the regular live shows, they don't. typically when he doesn't want something on, like the Robert Plant interview or the Wendy Williams rant from 2017, both from 2017, they ID tag those on purpose so that as soon as they come up on some whatever, Facebook, YouTube, they disappear. So if you want more of that stuff, go subscribe to our Patreon. Nothing gets taken down there. And they have no reach over that. So eventually, like the Wendy Williams rant, we're going to cover it in detail, and that's going strictly on Patreon because we know that's a hot get, I suppose. So you're the podcast that you can listen to because we don't advertise it too often. ListenNotes, Podcast Addict, obviously Podbean, Pandora and Alexa, Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn, Pocket Cast, Player FM, and there's a whole bunch more that I've forgotten about, but these are the ones I principally signed up for. So the other thing is we'd like to do a couple shout outs. This one's going to Julie Brown, Mandy Rubinoff, Hope A, that's just A as in the capital letter A, Brenda Wolf, Estelle Espinoza, welcome to the group, by the way. All the Pepinos are welcome. And we got to do a big shout out for Benjamin and Bring Back Jackie. Tell about their tweeting prowess.
Okay, so when I'm doing the live show in the mornings, I get alerts when they tweet, when Bring Back Jackie and Benjamin tweet. So a lot of times I can't even type fast enough to record in our thread what's being said, and there might not be enough people around to help me out. So what I like to do is visit their tweets, which I get while I'm listening and typing and responding. It's like the saber dance in my head with spinning plates. So those guys are so eloquent. They're ferocious. They tag Bowie. They tag Ellie Wentworth. People like TMZ, NT, The Blast. Yeah. And they're phenomenal. And they really capture the moment of the show perfectly, sometimes way better than I ever could. So I want to promote them. Visit their Twitter. Check them out. They're really great. And thank you guys so much. You've been a huge help to me. And I hope everybody's enjoying because their stuff it's always 100% legit. And it's hysterical. You just... Even if you don't listen to the show, I think they sum it up pretty well because they're very good expositionists. That's the word I want. Well, they're very good writers, and they have a way with words that is phenomenal. And once you get to know their lingo, it's even better. And when you look at who they're tagging and what they're saying, I mean, nobody beats them. They're the best tweeters on Howard that I've ever seen. I couldn't even begin. Twitter is not my thing. Yeah. I won't even. I tried it for a while. It just wasn't for me. Same. And I found that doing live threads was my gift to the world. So that's what I do.
Those guys are like surgeons, and they have like a scalpel incision precision that if we're sledgehammers, they are laser surgeons and stuff. They're just phenomenal. Excuse me. And when you read, sorry guys, my throat's a little wonky today. When you read Benjamin's tweets, you can hear his voice because we do shows with him. Bring Back Jackie. I've asked him to do like an interview, like a one-on-one, or even sit in if he likes, and he's happy doing what he's doing. So, but he gives us his blessing anyway. And they post great links whenever there's something actually completely hypocritical or completely bullshit, which is just every day. And this past week, what was the big lie about? There's a couple huge lies that he decided to foist on us.
Okay, so Benjamin had two great ones. One was the trans bit where Howard says that people are mean to trans people, and yet Benjamin caught the fact that High Pitch Mike had to lay on the ground and have a trans sit on his face to get a TV.
Right, that was punishment.
And he showed all the pictures of it. What's that?
That was considered punishment because that was considered the car wash he had to go through with his mouth open. You know what I mean? It was that was the way he thought. Like if you really were evolved and you believe that trans is the way, people should be treating them like, well, of course, obviously, if you're trans or doesn't matter, you're still a human being. Obviously, you shouldn't have to be told to treat them like with kindness, but that he became this big defender. But it wasn't that long ago he had one as punishment sit on High Pitch Mike's face so that he could win a TV that eventually never came out of the box.
No. Well, at least as far as we know, while he was at Sirius for those early Sirius years, that this was a thing. The second lie, or I call it an abuse of the English language that Wiggy did, was he said, "I've lived all over the United States." Well, Benjamin pointed out that he lived in 4 states.
Yes.
Michigan when he was in Detroit.
Yep.
Connecticut when he was in Hartford. Washington, D.C., and then New York.
Yep.
4 states he's lived in, all in like the Northeast. So Howard makes these wide gaping, sorry for the word, gaping statements saying, "I've lived all over the U.S." Well, you've lived in like a quadrant of the U.S. and there's only 4 states. It's not like you've lived in 10 states, which would give you some cred, some street cred, but no. And wonderful Benjamin pointed this out even after the show was done. Later in the afternoon, it came up and I got the alert and I was like, oh, this is fantastic. So I just tagged it on to the earlier thread that I had put with High Pitch Mike and the trans hate and how he thinks that people are against trans. But back in the day, he used trans, he used Tula, and then he used the one with the cats. Oh, what was her name? It always escapes me.
Siobhan?
He even did Siobhan. Thank you. They even did like a Cribs episode where they went to her house and like it was scary. It was sad and scary. And then there was the interview he did with her on the phone and she didn't even have like socks or something. And he's like, well, good luck with that. And it was like the saddest story. And he just blew it off.
It was worse than good luck with that.
No emotional connection in the world.
It was literally, she goes, I don't even have enough to buy socks. And he goes, well, it's great to hear you're doing well. It was just a disconnect.
Yeah, that's what it was. I was like, did I just hear this? Is this real?
It made that part of an intro.
Oh my God, Fillmore! Like
it wasn't.
I can't even tell you.
The funny part was
go ahead.
Two funny parts. The part was that he said that, but before that, there was about a 3-second disconnect where you could tell he wasn't even listening. He was just like doodling, and then he says it as if it's like you went in. It's like you went in on a doctor, a psychiatrist just woke up from his patient rambling after an hour, and he says, "So what do you think about it, doctor?" And he tells him something like, "What was that one? I think it was Frasier when he fell asleep. When there was a guy on the phone, and he asked him what he should do about his insomnia, and he said, "You should just, try to get some sleep."
I'm sure, it's as much as like Howard's therapist is eating a hamburger while he's talking to him on the phone or on Zoom or something, and just totally ignoring everything and just being like,
yeah.
Right. Well, let's work on that. Okay. And good luck. Goodbye.
Yeah.
So, those are some great moments.
Either way, guys, I will say, just going to get this set up. Hold on. The first day we're going to come back to, first of all, we're starting off officially. And like I said, if this gets truncated, don't worry about it, guys, because on the apps, it'll be uncut always. This first one is called Therapist Says Enough Bullshit. This is from September 8th. And which was it the 8th or the 9th that the Metallica and Miley thing happened?
Metallica and Miley and Elton John were on the 9th.
9th, okay.
The 8th was Martin Short and Steve Martin. So we had to do that as a separate Patreon episode because that was going to be ID'd.
That was an epic. That was so good. Anyway, this one's called Therapist Says Enough Bullshit.
It's telling my psychiatrist yesterday how upset I am about the state of the world, and he didn't really want to hear it. He just was like, "You're avoiding talking about you." And I was like, "Yeah, but I'm being empathic with the world. I'm upset about the women in Afghanistan and Texas." And he goes, "Yeah. Here, come on, let's get to the real stuff. Start whining about your parents."
I think he's being 100% honest about this, though. Go ahead.
The therapist is, if he's still seeing him, let's just put it at that, that he's the one guy who can call him out on shit and be like, "You're fucking acting. This isn't a comedy show. Stop telling me jokes. Stop trying to be witty. You're not on your show. Just tell me what's going on." And he always, if he's steering it back to him, that's going to make him even more uncomfortable because he's trying to use stuff out in the world and make it his own, like he does on the show.
Oh, yeah. And it's several clips over different years, spanning different years and different eras even, where he said as much on the air. I go into the psychiatrist's office and I do whatever. I try to make it a comedy show. I try to impress him. I try to do this, try to do that, basically do anything but talk about myself, which is, what's the fucking point? The point is, he is a narcissist. He doesn't want to change. He doesn't feel he needs to change. Even if people are telling him you're sick, you're fucked up. And originally I thought his love of marbles would trump his love of therapy, because he would see, like, Jesus, I'm wasting all this money on therapy. Like, there should be a disconnect there.
Well, I think Bob D would agree, Chicago Bob, that Wiggy wants to be heard. He never got the love he wanted from his mom.
Yeah.
And so the therapist is sort of like a mom, where he is the one who's going to like coddle him a little bit and be like,
okay,
no, I think you need to look at it this way. And maybe you're not seeing this part of the situation. Like, he just wants to be heard. He's such a narcissist that anyone who'll listen to him is worth paying.
I guess.
Like Beth, like Ralph,
everybody,
staff, people that are like under the gun basically to listen to him.
Yeah.
Because they're getting paid, have to have an ear for him. But then if he doesn't like what they're saying, and in this case, the therapist has freedom to say anything he wants to say, it's really kind of interesting. Like, how many times has the therapist pissed him off? How many times has he like thrown shit or gotten upset because the therapist made him actually think about something he didn't want to, or have to actually work on himself? Yeah. And how does he handle that? That's kind of curious to me.
I think he probably breaks shit. I think he probably swears. He probably calls someone up, probably calls Ralph whenever he wakes up out of his coke stupor, and says, what do the fucking psychiatrists know? He basically just does what he does with anybody he doesn't agree with. Make him like, oh, he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know anything until the day where you decide, oh, I got to go see him. And then he does know something. It's like whatever's convenient for him is the truth. And I was talking about this with Deborah ages ago, and how she had a similar experience where he explained, I went in, I tried to piss off my psychiatrist. And she said, I got angry at my psychiatrist one time, and, because she chuckled at something I said. And then she decided, what do you think that's funny? You think that's what, and she did like almost a De Niro thing. And she explained that at the end of my ranting, I knew 100% that the psychiatrist didn't give a fuck and wasn't affected in the slightest, because they are trained to deal with people's, king babyisms, and whatever thing that they're projecting on the psychiatrist is something they want to talk to the person in question in their life who has made them be this way. So for Howard, his mother. And so you're right. It is a substitute, but it's not something that is effective because his mother's still there. Anything he says to his mother doesn't change. She doesn't change. And at this age, she's certainly not going to. And he's not going to change. So that's why I think eventually at some point the money factor is going to go into it. He's going to go, I'm no different anymore. So what's the fucking point?
I think he's worried about spiraling into like a Howard Huston for real, which we say he's already in. But I think he knows if left to his own devices, like mentally, he will collapse. And it will come out really badly. And there might have to be an intervention, or there might have to be people like Buchwald or Ralph
He's still alive.
step in and go something, or the executives like Jennifer Witz at Sirius who are like, what you're saying, we can't have you say. And, if they start editing down his shows or talking to him in a way that's, going to affect his marbles, and I mean money marbles, not like head marbles.
Yeah.
Then that would be something where he might have to go back to his psychiatrist or therapist. But if he cuts ties with him, he might not be able to get back with him. Like if he burns that bridge, it might be gone forever.
Oh, yeah.
And so maybe he's worried about that because he's the one guy that he doesn't want to have to start up new with somebody. That's
Robin
never going to happen with him. It's all or nothing with this guy, just like Robin. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all or nothing because you're never going to make up all those years and all that time spent with somebody developing a relationship. So,
yeah. Well, let's continue with the last. This is just the first clip, guys. But again, when it's therapy stuff, it's fascinating. That's why we kind of like to play with it a bit.
It is. It really is.
It's awesome.
I guess that means, you're not going to do anything about those two issues.
Right.
Let's talk about something you can do something about.
Yeah, like stop with the horse shit. Let's get to it.
She knows him so well.
Oh, yeah.
She knows how he works.
Yep.
She knows how he derails. And she kind of gets to the heart of it there, which is a really good clip here. I'm not sure who clipped these, but I'm liking it already.
That's me. I did this day.
Was this you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good job.
I can only know these days by the titles, but because my memory's starting to go. My memory's starting to go to the point where I'm going, hey, you know what? I was number one in every market. What was just recently, Sam said by then we'll have recorded this. So guys, it's in the pipes, or if we haven't already released it. But we're going to go through the Tracy Millman versus Gary thing, and there's a video of it. And at the great thing about that video was half of it is her talking to Gary about his own just incompetence in studio to his face, and not afraid of him in the slightest, or Howard. And the other half is him bullshitting the staff, telling them, I don't know what I'm going to do in 8 months. I have no idea. I have no deals. And knowing full well and keeping them dangling on a fucking string. And it's evil. It's pure evil, and knowing what we know now. At the time, though, I also did know he was full of shit. I remember seeing that and going, he knows. And Robin called him out on him. Just the way she did just now. She goes, you fucking know. Because she's been with him all these years, and she knows the fucking thing. She was just fed up with hearing it and listening to bullshit. And she is going to get to a point eventually, if she stays on the show. And C.A. Thompson, this one goes out to you because you posted a good question on Facebook as to whether or not she stays in the new year. I think she stays until she drops. Raven's the same way, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah, because what else is she going to do? Just get bigger and fatter and eat herself into oblivion, which she may be doing anyway?
She already has 16 hours a day to watch TV.
Uh-huh.
She's homebound. He's got her on lockdown. She can't go anywhere. And if he finds out, she knows she's going to hear it from him.
Mm-hmm.
So all she can do, she's not researching news, that's for sure. She has done that for decades now anyway.
Yeah.
And she basically has, I called it riding off into the sunset with him, and she will die doing the show on her deathbed if that's the case. Now, she might be fine. She might not need to pre-record shows for doctor appointments, which I conjecture as a possibility, but who knows? It's all up to them. In the meantime, though, yeah, she's not adding much except when she challenges him. And these are the moments that are few and far between, but are fantastic. Love them.
Or during interviews when she decides to, like in the Friends interview, when
oh gosh, yeah.
When the sirens flew by. Christ almighty, the laughing we did. So, okay, the next clip is called, and I made this one optional, and we're going to play it because it's not really, we can get away with this one. 79 says anti-vaxxers are also pro-choice. In case you didn't know that, guys, listen to the authority.
Politics, great.
Yeah.
By the way, this was kind of funny. When people want to attack me, there's no real way to get to me because I don't read social media. But she's got her Instagram account, and she's very active.
You listen to podcasts?
After yesterday's show, some negativity managed to get to me through Beth's Instagram account.
So, guys, you know what to do. You know what to do. And people are already sending us screen caps from her Instagram, which is the greatest gift from God you could imagine.
Yes.
And recently, she posted a picture of the cat's spackle on the
Oh God.
It was one of the most revolting pictures you've ever seen. You expect to see that at Wendy the Conqueror, the slow adults, house, or her house on wheels, and it was revolting. Please.
It reminded me of the Tim Sabian shitgate.
Yes. And
there was a great post that somebody referenced that, and so I forget who it was, but who you are, you're a gem. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like the cat either got spooked in the box, and there's no lid on the box, so it's not, it was like a firework coming out of the cat's ass,
right,
that it just shot it everywhere, or it kicked it out when it was cleaning. Maybe it's sick. Who knows? She gets all kinds of weird cat issues with the new ones that come to her house, and anything's possible. But like, Sam, I'm so sorry for the scat talk, but it was important because that was Beefus telling us, like, my life isn't glamorous, so feel bad for me because I have to clean cat poop.
My life is shitty.
Your life isn't glamorous. Yeah, okay. You think my life is glamorous? No, sorry. Raised 2 kids, changed a ton of diapers. I've got a bunch of cats, clean their poop, clean their hairballs. I've seen it all. Like,
right, Nothing
really surprises me anymore. And what she posted was just a look at me, like a attention getter kind of thing. And it was unnecessary. God, if you're doing that work and you want recognition, just do the work. Don't show us every little awful thing. Remember, like, Pebble wiped her butt on a carpet and there was like a shit stain on the carpet.
Yeah.
We had to
look at, yeah,
6 months ago or something. That was awful too. But every chance she gets, she's just showing us like all the terrible stuff. But then, like, we have to look at her ass, her colonoscopy, thigh gap, Photoshop, her, you name it. There's just a million things. While she's hawking these cheap ass, lame tote bags, T-shirts that are, you can see the tote bag, the T-shirt. It's just, they're the best things. And they hawk that shit. And it's like he always said, I never sell T-shirts. I'd never sell coffee mugs. And what's he doing? He's selling all this shit that he said he never would sell.
Of course, because it's him. Different rules apply when it comes to him. Now, this is I remember thinking the Dead Kennedys' second album, I think, Here Today, Guano Tomorrow, they shoot a guinea pig and they photographed it that was their cover art, the back cover art or the insert. I mean, it looked kind of like that, this picture. And I remember thinking to myself, there's in that previous picture that you mentioned, the skid, there's also like remnants of wet food that shouldn't be anywhere near there if you're cleaning properly. Or if you have the hired help, but I'm sure the hired help is not responsible for the fucking cats. That's not in their job description.
Oh, I don't know. I might disagree with you on that one. I think Consuela and the rest of the crew there might be taking pictures and videos and doing a lot of the cleaning, and she gets all the credit for it.
Maybe. So. I don't know. Maybe Consuela's the one who's taking out the cat eyes out of anger. But if that's the case, but I hope Jesus. Anyway, there have been a few Instagram photos, and one of them with Beefus with the clavicle hanging out like a TV dinner tray again, and it is really, really like she's seeing that as I look great. We are looking at that like, somebody get this fucking girl, get the ipecac away from her, because this is really disturbing. But strangely enough, with that, most people don't have any sympathy.
No, she signed her contract in life with the devil, as in Howard and Buchwald, and she's doomed. Same as Robin. Like, it's hard to feel sorry for these people who have lived these luxurious lives that, have traveled, have done whatever, red carpets, have had
Yachting.
books. And that goes for Robin and Beef. Yachting, I mean, going to Dubai.
Yeah.
But like, I don't feel sorry for these people. You chose your life. You had all kinds of control in what you picked to do, just like I have and you have. And we accept what we have and we embrace it. But those people just seem to find a way to make it all about themselves and look how terrible my life is or how awful I have it. But like, you should be celebrating what you've got and using it for good, not evil. And it just feels so evil when I see these things like Beefus Instagram posts all about her.
It's terrible.
And it's supposed to be all about him.
Yeah.
That's why he had to take over her Instagram.
Yeah.
And I think even like Beth's fan page, Beth Dame Man,
Dame Bethman, yeah,
pokes at this a lot. That it's all it's Beef's Instagram, but like Howard has to come on and read those stupid card questions, but he never shows himself. It's always her, and then she's like, "What's your favorite snack?" Gummy bears. Bo, but you don't eat them anymore. No. And it's like, oh, or do you?
Yeah.
And she gets that sly smile, like, I'm not telling, but we know she's got him hidden in like the ceiling boards and the air conditioner, Dexter style or whatever it is. It's just
she's got that inner. I know we're going way behind, but listen, it's fine. It happens. This is just padding. The Gary Puppet posted a what do you call it? A collage, I guess, of I don't know, must be 50 Instagram pictures over the years that he's collected.
It was 80.
Okay, my bad. And every one of them are these weird angled, like from above, from below, but mostly from above, from the wig. Like if you're the eagle headed down to the owl's nest to get the hatchling, that's what the picture looks like. You're looking at the nest.
Oh, they're aerial views.
Yeah, exactly. And they're just weird angles. They're very, they're just to make him look as if he has a good side, but every way you approach him, your camera breaks.
The funny thing is they're all like partial pictures of his wig, and some are gray, some have a little gray, some are jet black, some are like frizzy, some have like these twirly curls in them. It's like you would think it's 10 different people looking at these pictures.
Just imagine, like I said, if he walked around life, he walked around restaurants and went to Nobu, and there was always a microphone in front of him covering his face. That's the kind of, like if he had a guy that his only job was to keep a microphone in front of him or a monitor, like just to cover him from different things. Anyway, I'm going to start going through a theme of those on the Photoshops. Yeah.
I think if I were to buy him a mask for Christmas, I'd get him one that had like a monitor and then a microphone, and it would just be like hair sticking out of it. There'd be no sign of his face at all. That would be the mask I'd buy him.
That'd be the best Halloween costume of all time. You could be Howard Stern for Halloween, guys. You're only going to get almonds at the door, though. And Poland spring bottles of water. Okay, so here we go.
Here's what somebody wrote. Somebody named Barbie Cal. Barbie Cal. I think that's like a girl who's Barbie, but California.
Okay.
This was under the picture of Beth's magnificent ass that I was promoting on her Instagram account, telling people to take a look at that. And then she wrote, "Tell Howard to mind his business." Okay.
Okay, I'm going to let that one play through, guys.
Well, okay. Like, what does that mean? Get off the air? Mind his business. I mean, I'm on the radio. If I start minding my business, I won't have a job. Tell Howard to mind his business about the vaccine. It's my body to choose what poison to put in it, and that vaccine is poison.
Okay, I'm going to let that one go.
Of course, I'll make the very profound statement. I guarantee you this person wants to tell women what to do for abortion. Most of these people who are anti-vax don't want you telling them what to do with their bodies, but they want to tell women what to do with their bodies.
I'm not even going to comment on the stupidity of that, and it's not betraying what side I'm on. I'm vaxxed. If anybody wants to know, I don't give a fuck. And if I was or wasn't anti-vaxxed, and my job required it, I'd have to do it or be unemployed. You know, there's loads of people who you can maintain your principles even if you're against it, and still, whatever. We're not going to, it shouldn't be a political thing. That's your choice. You do what you like, guys, whatever strikes your fancy. We're not judging you either way. But to how do you attribute pro-choice to being anti-vax? Did you vax those fetuses?
79 logic.
Yeah, exactly.
That's our 79 guy. He makes these sweeping generalizations that only like he knows. And he's like, if I minded my business, I wouldn't have a show. But he does mind his own business because he doesn't give us current stuff. He barely gave us anything on Astroworld. He gave us like a minute. And then he switched over to some other subject that was sideways related. And yes, the vaccination thing is a big topic, but it's not for a comedy show.
No.
It's just not. It's too polarizing for your listeners.
Yeah.
And there's just the abortion thing is, what is fun about abortion? Can someone tell me? I didn't think so. So my thing is this, it's just him doing a show for himself. It's him with his totally conservative views that are conservative to Howard, not even society, because he's gun freak, right? He has a concealed to carry. He can't drive himself, but he'll carry a gun and have guys with guns protecting him. He likes abortion because he hates children and he doesn't want the population to grow.
Right. He's not pro-choice.
He's
just
congrats, grandfather Wiggy, on your new grandchild. I hope you enjoy him or her, whatever it is. But like his political thoughts are just like, they go right to the drain. No one gives 2 cents about those. Nobody gives a crap.
No.
And he just sounds even dumber when he says stuff like this.
That's right.
It's awful.
Yeah. And that was that's pretty much the only vax stuff we'll have on this show kind of thing, guys. Anything to betray his IQ is worth it. And when you talk about the Astroworld thing and how he literally gave us dick, that isn't even hyperbole. I'm saying he gave us dick, and that was it. Number 3, all right, rest in peace, Willard Scott and his toupee, plus Burt Reynolds talk, plus RobinIsStillWrong.com.
I just liked when he took toupee. I thought that was cool. Too many people take that toupee seriously. Like Burt Reynolds was such an intimidating guy and and certainly a guy who should have been in anger management. I think he'd punched out a bunch of people, but
no, as far as I know, he didn't. He was ornery. I'm pretty sure he did not, because it would have been like Johnny Depp has been in trouble for that. Alec Baldwin certainly has been in trouble attacking paparazzi and stuff. Burt Reynolds was very prickly, though, absolutely. And when you would interview him, if you asked him the wrong question, he'd scowl and shit. I don't believe, though, he ever got into any problems. We could look that up.
Yeah, no, Burt might have been a bastard, but I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know of any stories of him punching anybody out. I think that for sure would have been in some of the clickbait I've clicked on about him, because I watched his movies. I was a very big fan of his back in the day. And then I found out he was kind of a dick. And I was like, well, all right. A lot of people in Hollywood are dicks.
Right.
So you just got to enjoy their art and take and leave the person behind.
Right.
Sometimes if you want to enjoy this stuff. And, like with Travis Scott, like, do you enjoy his music, but can you leave the politics aside of what he's done? That's a tough one. Alec Baldwin, another guy.
Yep. You have to address the shooting, but you got to stay away from his politics, because obviously we're not a political show. And yet there are people that believe if you reference something, you're making a political statement just by referencing it.
And let's go back to the original thought here was rest in peace, Willard Scott.
Yeah.
So Willard Scott never really got his eulogy because it went right to Burt Reynolds bashing.
That's right.
So Willard, we loved you. Thanks for the weather. Thanks for being you. You were fun. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Like when you met Burt Reynolds, all you do was stare at his head because he had that fucking thing on his head. And
are you thinking of that Jerry Seinfeld picture of him looking at Beth Howard? I am.
If you ever said to him, "What's that on your head?" he would have punched you out. So he basically,
because Burt Reynolds, he, so desperate to stay young, his hairline kept getting lower as he got older, which is the
Got
opposite
thicker.
of what hair does.
It was a bad toupee, I will admit. That's worse. It's at least as bad as it was at least as bad as William Shatner's rug.
Okay, well, look at who's talking about them.
Well,
Two people wearing wigs.
If you go
So
on.
if anyone's going to know, it's them.
Right. Maybe VH1 should put worst wigs, ugliest guys, or some new show to sequel to hot chicks, ugly guys.
That gives me a thought for a show like in the future, a long time from now, about guys who get hair plugs in Hollywood.
Oh yeah. Anyone after
tons of-
shitloads. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when he was balding with his real hair, he started to get a receding hairline. Then one day he showed up on the Tonight Show. He had this big, thick, lush hair. And then, you know what else I like? When Burt Reynolds realized he was too old to have black hair, I think they buried him in a salt and pepper toupee. Like he went gray. That must have been a big decision.
You know what? If you want to get hired in the movie industry, you kind of have to look a certain way. Unfortunately, Howard, you wouldn't know that because you're not in the industry, or any for that matter. You're in our industry, shithead. So welcome. And you have to, if getting a toupee or getting a hairpiece at the time or plugs and stuff is going to still allow you to play certain parts, you do it. You get the Botox if you're the woman. You get the tit job. You get fat sucked out because you want to look a certain way. You don't want to have to play the grandmother or the mother. You want to play an aunt or a sister or something. Yep.
Look who is flying too close to the sun. Wigorous.
Yeah.
And I will say this for Hollywood actresses, even in their 20s and 30s, even teens, like Lisa Rinna's daughter, who is, her mom is known for the big lips, right? She did Melrose Place. She's done TV. Now she's on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Right.
Well, her daughter has been in some trouble. She apparently had like an overdose with quote fingers in the air. Her lips are blown up. Ridiculous. She's like 20 years old.
Yikes.
And you can tell, like, when you look at pictures of her at 16, this was some of the stupid research I ended up doing today.
Yeah.
When you look at her at 16 and now at 20, like, her whole face has been reformed. And Will Smith has done this. People in Hollywood do this all the time. And I mean, this could be like a 10-part series if we were just to do plastic surgery.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But it's so commonplace. And so what Wiggy has done with his chin, with his Adam's apple, with his hair, with his teeth, with his nose, you name it.
Yeah, he got lipo on his neck.
Yeah, probably on his tits and his belly because, you know, he hates those.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck.
He looked like Walter Hudson, supposedly. But yeah, it's anyway, for him to go after Burt Reynolds, I mean, fuck it. There's one guy. This is the funny thing. Burt Reynolds from 1978, I think, until 82, or 1977 to 82, I think, 5 years. He was the #1 box office star in the world for 5 years.
Yeah.
Like there are people that, like Brad Pitt's have been in some big films, but he's never had a run like that. Never. Yeah.
No, and I want to shout out Burt Reynolds, rest in peace, for your Playgirl photo spread, because that was unheard of back in the day.
Yeah.
And what you did, you set off 1,000 million trillion women's libidos with that. So yeah, he did what he could. You know, he
was the it guy for a lot.
He
of
tried
a lot
to
of
the
women.
very end. So I give him credit. Yeah, he was a stud. He was good looking to me as like a teenager, but then as I got older, I was like, moving along.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, but I still love Smokey and the Bandit and all his other stuff. So
great. They were great. Cannonball Run.
He won in the end.
Yeah, well, yeah. And one of I guess Ned, when he was going to do that was a funny story. He told Ned Beatty that he was going to do the spread in Cosmo, and he goes, so you're gonna. Ned goes, so you're going to show them your tallywhacker? I love that word, tallywhacker, because I only think of the Porky scene where Beulah Ballbreaker's in the principal's office and the coaches are all laughing the whole time. She used that word, or the principal does anyway.
Like, I think in his 70s, he went salt and pepper, and then I'm pretty sure, like, because the last time I saw him, like, on The Tonight Show or one of those shows,
he had thick, luxurious, bushy salt and pepper hair.
Yeah.
And
even in the movies, that's right, because in that movie Stripper with Demi Moore, he had the salt and, he was playing the senator or something, and he had the salt and pepper wig.
The stripper. It's called striptease, bitch.
She's always wrong.
Yeah.
Let's just shout out Burt Reynolds for Boogie Nights, one of my favorite movies.
Oh, fuck. He was so good in that. He should have got an Oscar.
I mean,
he hated the
played,
film. But Jack Horner.
Yeah. Jack Horner. He played Jack Horner, who was such a great character and tried till the very end and had all these young guys and girls around him. I mean, William H. Macy, just Roller Girl. Oh my God, Heather Graham, you're beautiful. And just so many things in that movie. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked.
There's a million perfects in that film, but I'm going to give this because we are a pop culture podcast as well. And Paul Thomas Anderson, the director, there was that scene in, the scene at the pool where Dirk goes, I'm ready, Jack. He goes, not in 20 minutes, babe, right? And he starts going on about how he's ready. And then at one point, Burt goes, nevertheless, you don't look good. So when he says use the word nevertheless, Paul Thomas Anderson would laugh as hysterically, and Burt started getting angry, like, why are you breaking up? What am I doing wrong? And he explained to him that there was a professor there's a teacher in his high school, and he was doing an address, like a public address in front of a bunch of students, and I can't remember, something like that, and he goes, so furthermore, and then somebody in the crowd goes, and so is a cocksucker. And there was a pause, and the teacher goes, nevertheless. So he brought that memory of that occasion. I think that's the story. I apologize if I'm getting it wrong, but it was something of that nature, guys. I love that film. I could quote it endlessly. Okay, next clip is called, Hey, enough rest in peace, Robert Downey Sr. Let's talk about eating shit.
Although,
oh, no.
Anyone. But in high school, especially my senior year, I had some friends, but they were loserish too. Except for my friend Dr. Lou. He wasn't a loser, but he lived in another town, so I couldn't get a hold of him. And my other friends were real losers. And no cool kids wanted to be friends with me. So I went over to the Uniondale Mini Cinema, bought my ticket. And
okay, I'm going to let this one go.
It's midnight. It's pathetic, and I've smoked a bunch of weed, and I'm sitting there, and this movie comes on, Greaser's Palace by Robert Downey Sr. And holy mackerel, it's this fucking weird looking dude who is Jesus, and he's got all these weird followers that look like they're in a carnival, and they're all like following this Jesus guy, and I don't know what's going on. I'm so high. It's like one of those experiences where.
Okay, just one sec. There's a little bit more.
I'm like, I'm not sure what I'm seeing. But I think this is either great or terrible. I don't know what it is, but I'm mesmerized.
The greatest film or the worst one. Yes.
Well, of course, because no one's telling him if it's a good film. And even back then, he had everything shopped for him, bought for him, paid for him. He had to cooked for him. He doesn't have a sense of anything. So, and even now to this day, he has no way of editing his own show, doesn't know what's funny. So it wouldn't surprise me back then that he went in not knowing what he was watching because he's a confused little boy. Yes.
Anything to get out of the house, anything to get influenced by another person, another idea, another movie, or some music, something to give him personality. Yeah. He had nothing going on.
No, God, no.
Know what was going on. I was so freaked out by it that I was like, I don't even think I'm going back to the Uniondale Mini Cinema. I don't know what's going on.
Nothing's wrong with that place.
Well, everything was wrong with that place. First of all, who goes to the movies at midnight? I'm in high school. I should be studying, shouldn't I?
Yeah, the midnight movie hadn't even been invented yet, and they were doing it.
You're a fucking idiot. They've had midnight matinees since forever.
Yeah.
And my God, that used to be my favorite time. Still is, actually, to go see a film. I remember a few years ago. No, not a few years ago. Now I guess 8 years ago, when Blue Jasmine came out, and I went to see it in a theater, and there were literally 2 other people there and me. It was like my own house, and I had a couple guests. Kicked my feet up. Sorry, guys. Whoever was sitting in that seat after me, and loved it. It was the only way to watch a Woody Allen film. Number one, with nobody in the theater, because that's typically what would be the case these days. And like an art house, that's it. That's the old art house crowd. 5-10 people in the theater, smoky, shitty, whatever. It was great.
A fun fact, one of my first jobs was working in a movie theater.
Oh, really?
So I was a cashier, I did concession, and then I was like the usher who'd go up and down the aisles, check for people. I never interrupted people. My God, I was 16 at the time. What was I going to say to anybody? But speaking of art house, one of the first movies that I gave the most refunds to ever was The Cook, The Thief, His Wife, and her lover. And it was about cannibalism.
Oh, yeah.
There was like graphic sex in that movie. I couldn't even get through the movie myself. I would see all Robin Hood. I would see The President's Men. I would see all these other movies that we had going on at the time. But that one, no way. And and we had midnight movies all the time. And even at 16, they didn't care. Like my license, but they'd let me work for some reason. So I'd stay there till 2 a.m. on a Friday and clean up and take home a bag of popcorn. And, my family loved me for that. Christ.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we got free damaged candy. Damaged.
Did you drop you to make
Throw
sure
it
that
across
they were
the room and it's damaged? What's that?
Oh, you ever accidentally, quote unquote, drop a bunch of candies to make sure you can take them home? Chocolates.
Once, twice, countless times. And it wasn't just me. It was everybody. It was like, who wants what tonight? And we just throw it against the wall.
Oh, yeah.
And write it up on the damage slip.
Well, the Cook, that movie you mentioned was massively controversial at the time because I think it was rated NC. Well, if it wasn't X, it was NC-17.
NC-17.
Whatever. Yeah. And back then most places would not show those types of films. And, I remember Helen Mirren's in it. I can't remember. I think also the fella that's in the film Diva. I can't remember his name. He plays Gordish. Anyway, that's the way to watch those films. I remember watching the Cronenberg Crash, his version of the H.G. Ballard book, and I saw people lined up like ants leaving the fucking movie theater when they start fucking wounds and stuff. Unbelievable. But that's not exactly a date film.
Yeah, and my parents didn't even care that I was at a midnight. My parents didn't give me a curfew. They're like, "Good, go get yourself fucking killed. What do we care?"
Well, you didn't care because you left anyway as well. So fuck you. It's always their fault. You're the one that's there.
Like he cared about his kids and what they did.
Right. What daughters? Number 5, the worst sympathy laugh in history.
Take me over.
Your picture should be on a milk carton, and nothing happened.
I think there was a group of Scientologists at the Uniondale Mini Cinema. They looked at me and they go, well, maybe not him.
I love that Robin laugh. It was so painful. That one was a work. That one was so effort. That was not effortless.
Oh, good job, Robin.
Do you remember what we got it just in the Steve Martin short interview? All the painful fake laughs he was doing when she does it.
Yeah,
it's on par with Bowie's speaking voice. That's how weak it is. Now she's getting older.
Yeah.
You'd expect her voice to get weaker with age anyway, and his too. But that was. Let me play that one again. Hold on.
Take me over.
Your pictures
looked at me and they go, well, maybe not him.
God, I'm gonna have to make a drop of that.
Oh, thanks, Robin.
Okay. Now, let's play this one. And number 6, I remember the lead guy. I don't know his name.
Anyway, Robert Downey Sr. made this movie that just blew my mind, and the movie has always been with me. Like it's never left my consciousness. I still remember it, and I remember the lead guy. I don't know his name.
You asshole. Fuck you.
Okay, number 7. Unless you're a friend of the court, don't expect any fucking condolences.
But Robert Downey Sr., man, that guy had something going on. So rest in peace to him, and condolences to Robert Downey Jr. because he's friends with us.
Friend of the court.
Exactly. Number 8. Rest in peace, Jackie Mason. Wig thought about you constantly.
I want to ask them about Jackie Mason and what they thought of him, because I thought Jackie Mason, he died while we were on vacation. He was 93. That's another one of those guys I thought was dead already. I didn't even know.
What a fucking rest in peace.
All right.
Go ahead.
Right. Just a heads up. This was right after the big summer break. So Wiggy was catching up on eulogies this day. So that's what we're getting.
Right.
It was when he came back Tuesday. So this was Wednesday, the next day. And he was doing a whole bunch of eulogies. I don't know if you did Omar from The Wire, but he passed away, and he was, bitching, not bitching, but he was doing a speech about him and whether or not he was gay in real life. And of course it was gay. It had to go to the gay stuff. It couldn't go to his great body of work or his work on The Wire, which he claims to have watched. But we would need Jan Hine to come in and support that theory, because he's the one with all the knowledge. Not Wiggy.
I'm not sure if I clipped it, but I will say that the Jackie Mason thing is even more galling, because Jackie Mason was one of the few people that showed up for his Fox test pilots and actually, appeared on the show. Yeah. And when he was probably struggling to get people to come on that fucking thing, and got whoever he could, because Bobcat Goldthwait wouldn't even show up. He showed up via satellite, and they started drawing on the screen as if that's funny while he's talking. It was just really stupid. And what else is new? And Jackie Mason, I'm sure, showed up in the 90s as well. Like, he made an appearance in the show, and he claimed in private parts he loved him when he was a kid. Like, he had fondness for Jackie Mason. But I must go on to say that Jackie Mason was one of the most hated people in the business by his peers, and probably by other people. And even Steve Martin, when the interview, I don't think I covered it, but he said he was he could be problematic. So he was difficult to work with. Yeah. So okay, the funny thing about Jackie Mason, that he does this, at least he remembered his name. That's the ultimate in fucking, passive aggressive pussy bashing. Jackie Mason was on the Fox pilots, one of them at least, and he was one of a few guests. Like, Zappa went on, but I think it was satellite, and so did Bobcat Goldthwait at the time. And and then he showed up later on in maybe the mid 90s. He made a couple appearances at least on the show, and Wig talked about how he loved him as a kid. In private parts, he wrote about him. He said, "I loved Jackie Mason as a kid," and to shit on him in this case, it's really now Jackie Mason was not loved in the business. I'll give him that. I'll give Howard that, but I don't remember any kind of problem he had with him, if that makes any sense. Yep.
No, I don't remember anything except that, like, he might have helped Jackie get into the Friars Club.
Yeah, maybe.
And there was a connection there that Wiggy never really got into the Friars Club.
Right.
No, Jackie was a friend of the show, friend of the court, and he always gave a good rant when he was on with Howard, no matter what it was, and Howard would try to, contain him in some kind of way, but he loved to hear him go off, because that's what he did. He loved to have people come in and say crazy stuff that he could use for sound bites or get attention with. And that's what he still does.
One of the things that's pissed me off recently, I didn't hear it. You guys did. And then you posted it in the recent thread about he was shitting on David Brenner, like he was died broke or something like that. And I remember thinking, fuck you. Of all the people back in the day who used to support you and actively go to program managers and station managers to say, this guy's good. And David Brenner helped so many fucking comics, real comics, not like this hack shitheads like you, Wiggy. And to say that about him, fuck you. I love Brenner. I'm not gonna shy away from that.
Robin even piled on to say that, he knew how to spend money, and that they don't think he died with a penny to his name. But David Brenner was not given a proper eulogy, let's just say, and he was shat on even more this week.
Rest in peace, Dusty Hill, and pay attention, Robin and Fred.
Because I was reading, and I was like, there's some bands like Led Zeppelin was like, John Bonzo Bonham is dead. We're done. It's over.
We're done.
You know, and I was like at the time, the drummer died and you're going to be done? Okay, I can understand if Robert Plant died or Jimmy Page, but all right. I respect it.
Apparently, Robert Plant wasn't going to get stuck with Jimmy Page by himself.
Right. Well, I think that like Dusty, I just thought those guys.
She's a fucking idiot. Of the whole Zeppelin crew, John Bonham and Robert Plant were actually best friends. They grew up together. And they all decided we're not going to replace him. We're just the band's over, and it's been just about 10 years, and it's time to call it quits. That was the end of it. They just realized they weren't going to be able to replace him.
Yeah, it's funny how Robin just comes up with these opinions out of nowhere,
right?
And giggles a little at the end just to reinforce what she thinks she knows. But we all know robiniswrong.com.
Exactly. It wasn't like Ace Frehley and Peter Criss versus Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley. I mean, the Zeppelin, they all, like John Paul Jones was a loner. He kept to himself. Robert Plant did his own thing. Jimmy Page did his own thing. Bonzo drank like a fish. Okay. And he was very abusive when he got drunk. He was a fucking maniac and an asshole. But there wasn't like some kind of everybody's against. She's almost making like everybody had to band against Jimmy Page because he was the wild one. He was a pedophile. He was a hebephile, and he was a heroin addict. But there was nothing like that in Zeppelin. They didn't have to fucking put up with anything except for each other's foibles. Anyway, and I think he explained that Robert Plant, that basically when they did whatever on tour, they didn't see much of each other off stage. Like it was really just in studio on tour. That's our job. And we go do our own things, and that which is actually seems more organic than anything. Let's continue.
This would be a little more broken up, maybe.
Yeah, because he was original. Like he was there at the very beginning.
Yeah, there's only 3 guys in the whole band.
Right.
This might seem a little cold. They held auditions at the funeral. They had no time to spare.
Benji joke.
The new bass player was found at the funeral.
A lot of people don't know this. I have a new Fred ready, waiting in the wings in case anything happens to him. I've been trained.
You just made sure, you just ensured that Fred is going to make another 20 fuck ups before the end of the month on purpose.
Well, he did a couple this week. I know that.
Oh yeah, love it.
Training him for years. We won't miss a beat.
No, you won't.
I mean, like Fred died, or you died, or I died. I like to think before we get back out of here.
Take a break.
Might need to
Please,
regroup.
A little break anyway.
He wouldn't miss a fucking beat. She'd die. He'd be pissed off. He had to do something he'd have to send something for the funeral. But he wouldn't miss anything. If Fred left, Fred died, nothing would change. Bowie died, nothing changes for him. He's the only one in his universe.
It'd be almost a contest for who wins Robin's chair. A win Robin's chair contest, perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah, good. Maybe Shuli, maybe you got a chance now. Number 10, robiniswrong.com GoFundMe is absolutely necessary now.
Of either one of them, though.
Yeah.
I mean, Steve Martin is one of the greatest talk show hosts ever. I don't know how you could say no.
Talk show guest.
I mean, talk show guest. I'm sorry.
Well, anyway.
I'm going to have to collect all these. Like I said, we're going to have a special edition Robin is Wrong show. Go ahead.
Rob L77, that is for you. And so will the special that we do. It will be dedicated to you because you have always loved every time our former newswoman Robin gets something
fucks up a story. Okay.
I love you, man. I hope you're good.
Okay, number 11, from a transition to a drink.
Let me tell you a couple of things. And most importantly, and this is a weird story because no, I'm not transitioning.
Weird.
Tomorrow.
Please.
Now let me just say something.
Why don't you transition?
Tomorrow.
Don't you, as Ronnie says, want to know what it's like?
Honestly, if it would get us more listeners, sure. Yeah, more subscriptions. Anyway,
I don't quite understand why he had to throw that out there. When the first thing that comes to your mind is transitioning or whatever it is you're obsessed with at the moment, I guess I can understand it. But he's had trans on the brain for, God, 30 years now. So you guys, there's someone, Tamara Francois. She's on the YouTube channel. I don't think she's in Facebook group, but she recently said, "Okay, I waved the white flag. I was thinking for years still he wasn't gay, but you guys have provided a mountain of evidence, and I'm now red pilling on this one." And I'm like, I don't care. Like, it's like, I'm not saying I don't care. That sounds really harsh. I'm easy either way, guys. And we don't really give a shit except for the fact that he gave so many people shit about this over the years, about whether their sexuality and whether they were this or that, and making it as if it was bad that you were gay. And I don't understand why he deserves any mercy at this late stage in the game when he's not involved in the slightest. Raven?
No, not at all. So Robin called him out on, are you transitioning?
Yeah.
Why don't you just do it? You want to, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And just this week, we heard about a new show we found called Always Jane, which is another trans show.
And he brought back talking about jazz, too.
He did, and he shamed her for gaining 100 pounds and said she just did it for the ratings because she was getting everything she wanted and things were going too smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't watch the show. I don't want to. I can only do so much research for this show, honestly, and I have to draw a line somewhere. So
you drew a line at Kissing Booth 1, 2, and 3.
No, I stopped at 2. I didn't even go for 3. Are you kidding me? Even he said 3 was bad, and I'm like, if he says 3 is bad, I am not going down that road.
I don't know. I'm of the law of contrary wiggy opinion. If he hated something, it's probably good.
Well, that could be. But I've been really just diving deep into Astroworld stuff, Alec Baldwin, and other current topics. I'm big into the MLB lockout right now. I know people aren't into baseball, so I won't go into that. But there's certain topics that interest me and some that don't. So I do what I can here. And trying to clip shows, listen to live shows, post on Thread,
There's one thing.
Different stuff.
You told me you did the math and you explained. Do you have those figures handy where you were going to say,
yeah, give me.
Can we take a break or something? You get at that?
Yeah, I'll get it. Hold on. Okay. I got it.
Well, guys, believe it or not, in the middle of this, I remembered something that Raven had sort of sussed out weeks ago. And believe it or not, Wiggy's we're going to have some revelations here.
Okay.
Yeah. Wiggy's excited.
Right. So I got interested in all these shows that Howard and Robin watch on TV or a streaming service. And for me, it became kind of interesting because I got a list of 9 and then I got like 2 or 3 more to add on. And I broke them down into seasons, minutes per episode, and then total hours per show. Mm-hmm. And then I got a total of all those 9 shows.
Okay.
But let's start off with Manifest, 35 hours. Titans, 31 hours. Dancing with the Stars, 469 hours. The Bachelor, 263 hours. Bachelorette, 197 hours. FBI, 64 hours. SEAL Team 6, or Sex, with David Boreanaz, who's a twink he likes, at 65 hours. Then if you add in YouTube tutorials, webcam voice, and porn, and then there's a new show called Always Jane, which is the trans show. Mm-hmm. Yellow Jackets. He mentioned Long Island Medium, but I'm not sure, so I'm not adding that one in. But just for the ones I got, like, out of, let's say I named 11 shows. Okay. 9 of them came out. Do you want to guess how many hours of show watching that is?
Okay, well, I was just doing a rough count. Over like 1,500, close to 1,500?
It's 1,124 hours.
Okay.
But that doesn't include the Yellow Jackets, which is coming out, and then Long Island Medium possibly, plus YouTube tutorials with painting, journaling, Adventure Denali, Olivia Jade, makeup tutorials. So I'm going to take the number that we have, and that's hours, right? Yeah. So we'll divide that by 24.
Okay.
And we get, now this is in days, our answer.
Right.
Full days with no break.
Right.
I'm going to round up and call it 47 days of TV watched. That is phenomenal.
I'll do you one better.
Unbelievable. How do you have time to walk to a high school and get in trouble, or I don't know, claim to paint? Like, how do you have time when you're watching that much TV?
Okay, full disclosure. When I was 11 or 10, and, you know, the height of the Three's Company and the A-Team and all these like sitcoms and stuff, I was easily good for 6, 7, 8 hours of TV, probably more a week when I was a kid. As I got older, obviously working, you have less time, and I set the VCR to record stuff. You have to make allowances. By the time I was in university, I stopped watching TV almost altogether. And it was just It was just movies for me. Eventually, I almost stopped. Then I had to I started binging when DVDs came out. We found 6 Feet Under on TV. A channel was showing an episode, and we thought it was a movie, and we loved it so much we binged like 8 hours of 6 Feet Under, the first season, in one day. My wife and I were like heroin addicts with that stuff because, you know, The Sopranos came out on DVD. All those HBO shows were doing that, and it was great. But I wanted to get that number from you. What was the Dancing the Stars number? Because I want to do another computation just on the fly.
Dancing with the Stars was 469 hours.
Okay, 469.
That was the biggest one.
Okay, and he does roughly 4 hours of show a day when he's on?
On average, 3.5.
I'm going to
He does admit to fast forwarding through some of these shows. So I got to give him some slack for fast forwarding because, you're not interested in all the dancers.
I'll just say he does 4 hours of show. Be generous every time he's on. Just the Dancing of the Stars is 117 shows of his own.
Oh my God.
That's more than a year. He spent just that one show. So
I'm surprised this man doesn't have bed sores from watching as much TV as he does. It is insane. It's mind-blowing.
You think he's got all those pine cone smelling things hanging from the ceiling like the sloth victim in Seven, and Beth is just, to cover up the smell of the bed sores? Oh, my Lord. Yeah.
His liver thinks he's dead because he doesn't move around at all. All he does is lift an arm on the remote control to fast forward through shit.
Yep.
I don't know. And he's like, I'm so busy. I'm always working on the show, blah, blah, blah. Like, come on, really? We're supposed to believe that? And you're telling us about, and don't forget about the 8-hour Beatles documentary he watched this week.
Oh, God.
But he only got through 2 shows, which is 2 hours and like a third. Mm-hmm. So 2 hours and 30 minutes. And he's supposed to get back to it. Blobbin finished like her 5 hours in like a day. Uh-huh. So that goes to show you what she's up to. And she watches some really far out stuff. And I know she watched Squid Games and he wouldn't comment on that. And I think she was really pissed, but oh, well, ching chong, ching chong.
I think I've just come up with the perfect Photoshop. Maybe, instead of Get Back, we'll call it Get Lost or Get Fucked or something, and just put Wiggy's picture on there, because I put a rant on my Facebook page about how I'm so not interested in watching it. And I know I love the Beatles, but I have no interest in finding out how they came up with what they did. I just like the end product. But that being said, guys, he did say back in the day, I've got audio of it, and I've played it before, I think, early on in the inception of the show, that he would tell Allison, I'm working. But he said that was all bullshit. I was just watching TV.
Right.
I told her, I convinced her I was working because I had to study this for the show, which he's not entirely lying. He was a pop culture show back then. They would talk about regular new movies. and when they went to see him, what they think of them. And a lot of people would on the weekend say, what films did he see? What does he think of this one? New film came out.
Yeah, no, I agree. Part of his job is researching pop culture. And I wish he was doing the pop culture that we're watching, not what he's watching.
Right.
Because then it would be so much more fun to be able to hear his kooky opinions or his right wing or left wing or whatever the frick he is on stuff. But he's so like laser focused on trans, on Bachelor, Bachelorette, Dancing with the Stars,
Scat,
anything on TLC, like the 1,000-Pound Sisters. I didn't even get into that. My 600-Pound Life.
Yep.
So just add another 1,000 hours onto what I gave you, and it's like 100 days of TV watching that he does in a year. I just don't know. I'm befuddled, and I think everybody else is too. It's just crazy that he claims to be the hardest working man and all this shit and spending time with Beef and giving her Bang o'clock and all this stuff. But he's not.
No.
He's not exercising. He's not with Beef.
No.
He is just in a room watching TV show after show after show.
You got that, that image I'm thinking in my mind of Leo DiCaprio as Howard Hughes, naked and with that beard on, watching TV or watching a projection screen in his cubicle of death, wherever the fuck he was living at the time, at the whatever, I can't remember what it was, the Landmark, whichever hotel it was he owned. He owned shitloads of hotels, but in Vegas. But when you said early on that without the psychiatrist he gets worse into whatever it is that he suffers from. I don't know what that'll be, but it's got to be very much like that. So when we say Howard Hughes, I think that's the most perfect analogy possible at this point in time, or any.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
It's bad.
Yeah. So the next one is called Wiggy Pissed He Had to Stay After School.
So normally we don't do a show on Thursday, but this is weird how it came about. Tomorrow we're doing a special show, and I still can't believe I'm doing it.
I know. So, you usually will not change the time of this show.
Right.
Right, except for Madonna, asshole, and the Artie Roast, which they filmed at night. Next one's called I Never Knew the Black Album came out in 1971.
So it was like at the beginning of vacation. And here I was looking at, for the first time ever, summer being off, like, oh, my God. And they called me up. When by they, I mean people in charge of our show, people who run our show.
Okay, I thought you ran your show, asshole.
Uh-huh.
And the list is many because it's such a huge show. And they said, "Hey, we need your guidance here. Metallica and Miley Cyrus are teaming up because it's the 50th anniversary of the Black Album, which is one of my favorite albums in the world, Metallica."
I can tell you the year, the month, the producer, the engineer, all the musicians on my favorite albums. I'm a music dork. I get it.
Oh, this guy.
At the very least, you'd remember what fucking year it came out in. 50 years?
Yeah, well,
Okay, fine. 79.
That's our 79.
Absolutely. Number 14. Is there money in the budget for a notes tutor?
It's 50th anniversary. And amazing. I'm not even sure that's accurate. I'd have to check it. I don't know. How could that be the 50th anniversary? I mean, how does that work? Did that album come out? You guys sure it's the 50th anniversary of the Black Album? They're probably all asleep.
It's the 30th anniversary, Howard.
Can I speak to Mrs. Rogers? Okay, let me see here. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, meditation is indeed wig speak for kindy nap time for King Baby.
Hey, in honor of the thing, will you guys do a cover of our thing? And Miley Cyrus was involved. So they called me up at the beginning of vacation and said, hey, Miley Cyrus and Metallica want to get together. And maybe even Elton John might join you for a few minutes.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there and it's like I've got an endless summer ahead of me. I've never had that much time off. And they go, yeah. And they can do it at 12:15, which, by the way, is like I have a personal biorhythm at this point. What happens?
It's like RoboCop.
Let's call it a death clock.
Yeah. Soon to be a death rattle, hopefully. Oh my Lord.
Oh my God.
It's like narcolepsy. I fall asleep at 12. Here's my day. Doesn't matter what the day is. I wake up super early, even if I'm off. The whole summer we were off, I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I get up, I eat breakfast, I do my thing, whatever that is. Maybe I paint or do a little work or whatever.
Whatever that is.
Watch TV.
No, it is watch TV. Sitting a lazy boy. No stools in the theater room though. And then so for years he would say, I got to go to my office and meditate. We've always known that's nap time. That it's so pretentious. It's so, oh, look what I'm doing now. I'm meditating. That makes me I'm on a higher plane. You're in the fucking office, whatever. And then there's like wet wipe tutors around you. Unbelievable.
Holy shit. Keep going. Yeah. Let's finish.
Oh, yeah. And then I'd go for a walk with my wife. Then I'd eat lunch and then I fall asleep. I mean, I meditate.
Okay.
See, he made
like
a joke.
It's a truth and a lie.
Yeah.
It's a truth and a lie. He doesn't go for a walk, but he does sleep.
Yes.
There's no way this man is walking as much as he says he is. He claims that they have side-by-side treadmills.
Yep.
So when the weather's too cold or too rainy or snowy, they go on the treadmills. I'm not buying it.
No.
Not one bit.
No, I don't think she's exercising. I don't think he's exercising. It's all just starvation. Number 16, star fucking Trump's nap time.
And it happens like clockwork. I eat lunch like 11 o'clock, and then I'm unconscious. So when these guys called me and said, the show's at noon. Oh, fuck.
You said 12:15, they'll be on.
Well, it says our show starts at noon tomorrow.
Those are both true, Howard. The show starts at noon, and then they'll be on at 12:15.
Yeah. Well,
so I have a fucking coffee in the afternoon, shithead.
Well, the show starts at noon, so I got to be here at noon. And I am in a panic because I'm not going to get my nap in. And I don't even know.
Oh, God.
Because I'm not turning down Metallica, Miley Cyrus, and Elton John.
Okay, hold on. I don't remember if he's had Elton John. I think he had Elton John a long time ago before, or at least as a phoner. But he's definitely had Miley on a bunch of times, and he's had Metallica on a bunch of times. So it's not like he couldn't have said no. This was forced on
he
him.
was pushed into this, by Sirius, by Jennifer Witz.
Yep.
And it was like, okay, you want the summer off, fine. But you're going to do a 12:15 show with Metallica, Miley, and Elton. And you're going to do a 2 o'clock with Mick Jagger.
Mm-hmm.
You want him so bad, you get him, but it's on our terms, motherfucker. So you deal. And God forbid Wiggy take a 5-hour energy or have a coffee once in his life. Like, what is one coffee going to do to this asshole?
Nothing.
Seriously, just deal. Put on your big boy pants and just do your job. Like, you're a fucking billionaire. You've been doing this for 40 fucking years. You can't adjust one little bit. You're such an asshole. Everybody knows it. Everybody thinks it. Even celebrities, not just us fans, ex-fans, people, haters. It's so obvious. Like, oh my God.
I want him so badly.
I get migraines thinking about this.
I know. I want him so badly to be pissing kidney stones through a fucking heart on. Number 17. Wah, I can't adjust my schedule for Miley. Wah.
She's off too. What does she give a shit?
Well, my hardest thing is I can't do anything else before the show.
I'm with you.
I can't do things because I need to be ready for the show. And so,
you mean awake? What things were you going to do at 3 a.m., you fucking tub of shit?
How sheltered are these fuckheads? Seriously, that they can't, just go with the flow? What do they do on the weekends? Are they seriously this tied to the schedule on the weekends?
Well,
they don't ever have something come up where their family wants to talk to them or they have to go somewhere. Obviously not with COVID because we know they're on lockdown, but
they're not
just
doing
blows my
anything.
mind.
They're not doing anything. Like, what's she going to do? Peruse the internet again from her fucking settee or whatever, like on her phone or tablet or whatever the fuck. She doesn't have to move an inch. She's probably got Captain Dennis and a pile of people in there holding that portable throne so they could carry her from one room to the other. I don't imagine at this point, honestly, I don't imagine she's any different than fucking Caligula being led through the street throwing fucking half-eaten apples at people. Go ahead.
Just postpone your fucking nap. You earn enough money.
Yeah.
Like, look at the rest of us people going to work day in, day out, staying at home, working, raising kids, putting them through school, all the shit we do as regular people. But these guys, holy crap. Yeah. God forbid they have to change one thing in their little fucking schedule to help us poor people out. It just, oh, God.
Yeah, it's frustrating as shit. Yeah, let's go through the rest of this one.
So if somebody's put something in the middle of my afternoon, it's like, what do I do? Because I can't really do anything until
fuck off.
Yeah, honestly, Robin, suck our fucking collective dick. Number 18, I'm going to fall asleep on the air, much like the listeners have already done by this point.
I hear you.
Well, you could watch burden. Like,
you could watch some of your shows. I was thinking. Until the show starts.
No, I can't do that. See, that I can't do. I have to do the show first.
They're going to lock the two of us up in a loony bin.
You know what? You can watch shows on your phone in a cab ride in the back seat while you're heading somewhere. You can watch shows on your phone when you're taking a shit. You can message people when you're taking a shit. Go ahead.
I'm like the queen of multitasking. I have 3 shows on my phone I can watch at any given time. Pick them up, drop them. Pick up another, go to TikTok, go to Instagram, go to Facebook, go to Twitter.
Right.
Boom. These 2 fucks, I got no time for them. I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
It sounds crazy, I know. I mean it. You can't do anything. Me neither. But I'm going to do some stuff and just fall asleep on the air, which could be funny.
No, well, certainly it might be much funnier than this. Number 19, what the fuck is Robin going on about?
We got to work on that.
Sunday, you know what I did on Sunday? You know, and Saturday and Sunday, I didn't speak because I was like, no, I gotta get ready to do the show.
Look at you.
And I've been, just not paying attention to anything.
So this is her voice rested?
Yes.
Jesus.
Oxygen tank and voice rested.
Oh, yeah, she's got to do a performance of Ave Maria.
For the last 2 months, what day it was, what time it was. And I was like, and somebody said, oh, call me tomorrow. And it was Friday. Call me tomorrow. Anytime you're, because I want to talk to you. And I was like, I can't speak on Saturday.
I have a date with my hot tea and lemon and honey, and I will make it onto this show, and I will be fully rested. Please don't ask me to watch my show at a time outside of the realm of my normal schedule. I'm not. We need that Jackie reading.
I need to keep my voice fresh for Monday, so I cannot talk to you Saturday or Sunday or even Friday night for that matter, and Thursday too. So just call me Wednesday afternoon or else no talking.
Number 20, sorry, my mistake. Wiggy feigning ignorance about serious studio comeback.
Just wanted to say great interview with the Martins, man. It's always awesome hearing those guys. I love hearing their stories. Also, I noticed that they were back in the studio, so is that what's your plan for that? Are you going to start having guests back in the studio? And when's your plan to make your way back there?
Okay, I'd like to say that this is a fake call, a real caller, but I'd never buy it anymore because he can't deal with a real caller. So we're just going to go ahead and say this is fake, and he needed to address this. He felt the need to address it, and here we go. Plugged into the back.
I'm willing to say that the guests will be in studio, but Wiggy won't.
Yep.
Robin won't. Bowie won't. Fred won't. No. They're all redesigning their studios at home. And the guests might be in studio if they're in New York, because that's the only way they can keep their studio, as I've said before.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's no end to my embarrassment because, it was really weird.
like, we won't go back to the studio. And then when Steve and Marty said they were going to do it, they go, we'd like to be in the studio, so we'll be there if you want to come in. And I was like, no, you guys can be there. I'm going to be here. So I look like a big wimp, but the truth of
it's disrespectful, and you look like a pussy. Yes, absolutely. That goes without saying. But really, guests of that stature, you don't actually show up for. I'd hazard to say they're probably not coming back on the show after that.
Yeah, they're glad to be done with it. And any future shows they have, they'll be on Zoom if they have to, if they're contractualized into it. But otherwise, they made their best effort, and, this is what they got.
Yep.
The matter is, and this is weird, I believe, if I'm right, the Sirius studios, for the most part, are shut down. So I guess they opened it up for Steve and Martin Short, but...
Well, I wondered,
so
about
you're
that
still not
too.
able to get in there then.
Yeah, no, we can't bring our staff in. There's a limited amount of people in there. There's very few shows. I know Andy Cohen did a show from there. I think
but he's not doing his show regularly from there?
No, I don't think so. I hope I have
because
that right.
I said, we need a newsletter to find out what's going on in the world of Sirius.
Well, here's the bottom line. Nobody knows what to do.
All right. So Andy showed up at the studio. He's back in service at Sirius. As far as I know, I haven't kept up on him because I'm not a big fan of his. But let's just say he made it back to the studio. And he was there on a day when Bowie was there. And we talked about this before, that they took a Instagram photo and Bowie posted it on his Instagram. So... yeah, Andy is just going full steam ahead. He doesn't give a shit. He's got a kid. Doesn't give a shit.
No.
He's working.
Yep, he's grooving.
Kid, schmid. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know what the over-under is on the amount of time before Andy Cohen has some scandal that knocks him off his perch. But I imagine it's going to happen at some point because there's something dark about that guy, and it has nothing to do with his sexuality.
Yeah.
Just another scumbag in the business. And I don't know more than that, guys. But it's something, it's just a feeling I get. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he brings in too much money to the Bravo franchise, the Bravo channel. And he does the New Year's Eve with Anderson Cooper. They're
right.
pretty close too. They've done tours where they do like speaking word or comedy or whatever it is they do on live shows. So I think Andy is under the same velvet rope that Wiggy is, where they're protected.
I think so.
We don't go too much into conspiracy stuff, but I really think there's more to it than what we're saying. I just don't want to get into it right now.
Yep,
it's too deep and too muddy. Blech. Sorry.
Number 21, last one for the day. I'm a family man.
Very, very frightened by this Thursday show. God, I'm just got to make enough time for friends and family. I mean, I'm busy working every minute.
Oh, no.
Yes, you're neglecting your loved ones. You have other responsibilities. You're a family man.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I'm down here in the basement, toiling.
It's no different than when he was with Allison. He doesn't see his kids he didn't see his kids anymore when he was with Allison in the same house with the kids.
Seriously? You think we're believing this? Come on, man.
That's funny.
Robin, you gotta do better. You gotta do better. Please, woman, help us out a little bit.
Okay.
You know the truth. Come on.
Are we going to barrel through the 9th and see if we can get through it?
Let's do what we can.
Okay.
I got a half hour.
Okay. September 9th, King Veal's Nap All Jacked Up.
It's a celebration. The reason we're doing a special show, well, one of the reasons we're doing a special show is that I was on vacation, and at the beginning of the summer, everyone said, why don't you do a special show on Thursday with Metallica and Miley Cyrus? And I was like, yeah, okay. No big deal.
Glitch.
Everybody said. The fans were clamoring for it.
Because I was all euphoric. And
And I think I lost my mind temporarily, but here I am. You know, it's very difficult, Robin. You don't realize the sacrifice I'm making to do a show at the middle of the afternoon. This is exactly when I'm usually napping in my bed. And
I just didn't make it. You think you were sacrificing. I told you I can't do anything before the show, and if I do something before the
Oh, Fillmore, he was crazy back then when he agreed to this 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Are you kidding me? He was out of his mind.
He's mind blown.
Yeah, whatever. I just want to go to summer vacation. And then, like, boom, he's got to do, like, an afternoon show.
Yeah.
God forbid.
That's right. Number 2, 6 ass mentions amid narcissistic pride.
Decided to present it as Fart Man. And as anyone knows, if you know any narcissists in your life, you probably never met one as big as me, unless you know Donald Trump. And then I came down with my ass.
So proud.
Yeah.
And my ass took over the camera. My ass took away all the attention from not only Metallica, but from anything. My ass was bigger than the MTV Awards itself. I mean, people were beside themselves. And then not only did I come down on wires with my ass.
Okay, first off, guys, if just go ahead and look at it yourself. Look at don't bother with the private parts version. Go to the original one, and you will just you will hear crickets. I mean, people are going, oh, whatever. The kind of random we don't know what's going on noise, because I'm sure a lot of those people, a lot of the kids didn't even know who the fuck he was anyway. I mean, 93, say what you like.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and Fart Man, what the fuck? That's the first thing they'd be going on about.
On TV, which had never been seen before. Not because it was, not because of any kind of nudity laws, but because who would want to see that ass?
They wanted to see Dennis Franz's ass on NYPD Blue. Go ahead.
It's another example of him doing a bit for himself.
Yes.
Even back then. That's it. It's always for him. It's all about him, Ed.
That's right. Number 3, Starfucker Wiggy with Afternoon Delights.
We're here today, and obviously, I guess they're in L.A., I'm assuming. But
so they're up in the morning in L.A., but we're here at noon.
I never do a show at noon. I did it one time, I think, for like Madonna.
I thought it was the evening. I don't know why he's saying, yes, he's full of shit. Then once again, guys.
Yeah.
And I after that, I swore Madonna was great and all that, and I always wanted to meet her and talk to her and interview her, but I was like, this is bullshit. I can't do a show at noon, but for Metallica, I would do it. You know what I mean?
There have been
guys...
other people, big names, who have asked.
Okay, go ahead.
For Jennifer Witz, you'll do it for whatever fucking millions of dollars that you got last year on your new contract.
Yeah, pretty much. Number 4, and I believe Raven clipped all of these. Wiggy and Ralph reminisce about an old date.
First thing I always think of when the band is mentioned is that time we saw them when they did with the orchestra at Madison Square Garden. That was like maybe the best show I've been to in my life. It was just so fucking different.
Ralph
incredible.
And it was Ralph, a couple other people. I won't mention them all, but
because they're no longer friends of the court, like maybe
Ross.
Cabby or maybe, well, we don't know exactly. But, I mean, I looked it up. It was 99, sometime in 99, maybe July. And I think the infamous picture of the tunics, the two of them, might have been from there. But
right.
I believe it's later because but I can't say for certain.
Well, please insert picture. Was KC around in 99?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, he might have been there too.
Yeah, I think so. And
Richie Notar.
But he was still been friends with Richie Notar because there's been no schism since I can remember hearing anyway. But Ross probably people maybe I don't know. But either way, and Casey was a big metalhead, probably still is. So he'd definitely be down for that. Absolutely.
And to see Metallica at the Madison Square Garden. And we got so charged up. We were right at the base of the stage, and they were fucking playing with a 70-piece orchestra. We got so jacked up that
we were right on top of them. We were between them and the audience. I mean, we were right there. It was crazy.
Yeah, and I don't think Robert remembers, but we were jamming with him on stage. Like we were like headbutting, and he was almost
okay. Hold on, guys.
Almost like right on top of us, and then
sad.
I don't know how it happened, but one of the dudes we were with, we pulled his pants off.
What? We did?
Yeah, we took his pants off. He was naked. We got crazy. The Metallica music makes, you know what? I got to say, I bet.
Okay, guys, this is the first thing, and he said this before. This isn't the first time he mentions this, and he said it to Lars, I believe, in person, over the course of an interview. We took our pants off at Metallica. Go ahead.
And he was left with those guys just ghosting him, anything to get off the topic. Those guys do not want to talk gay with him at all.
No,
but he tries over and over
every time.
Richie got raped at the concert. He has a much different memory of it.
We were so charged up, we all went gay. It was so masculine that we went over.
Is that what you could slip over into gay? You get so far over on the masculine scale, you slip over?
No, in fact, I remember.
I'm telling you, man, this was the exact time of his mad tear, which was really, in my opinion, him with Ralph and Cabby and whoever else, whatever deviant sex they were going to go do, bi, straight, gay, whatever you want to call it, threesomes, orgies, circle jerks, scat. I don't know, but I think it's during that time, and that's why you could be freely about this and say it like it's a joke, but it wasn't a joke at all. No, I don't believe so.
I met a woman that night, and I was so jacked. I was single at that concert. I was so jacked up that I took her home and made love to her.
Right. You met her that night.
I think he realized at the last moment there, I'm outing myself, so maybe I got to insert this non-story.
Yeah.
So
it's time to pull back a bit,
pull out.
Yeah. Oh God. But he did mention Richie, and it was Richie Notar.
Richie Notar. Yeah. Number 6. Sorry, Miley. No pelican dick stick for you.
Well, and I really believe that if I, as attractive as she may be, I think of her in a daughterly way. This is how much I've matured, that I wouldn't bang her. Yes, I'd bang her mother, but not her.
You'd bang her. I think you'd bang her father, actually. Yeah, go ahead.
Could this be a mini rescinding of some sort when he used to say how she would portray herself on stage as putting her pussy out there and her tits and all kinds of she went through a crazy phase.
She did.
Where she was very skimpy.
Yep.
She was dressed skimpy.
Yeah.
And, it was almost like a see-through outfit at some points.
I'd say that the better rescinding is Lady Gaga, because he tore a yard off her ass before she showed up on the show, and he kissed her ass, and he talked about the little monsters and so that's a better one. But I'll look into the Miley Cyrus thing. Number 7, Gauze knows Gauze.
And with us right now is just Elton John to say hello. This is really quite star-studded. Metallica, Miley Cyrus, and Elton John. Elton, are you there? Oh, there he is. Look at you.
Oh, my God. Hi, guys. Hi, Miley.
Hello, Elton. How you doing?
Hey. Great.
Elton, I'm no mind reader, but I think what you are saying to yourself right now, if I'm correct, is, God, Howard looks younger and more youthful and more wonderful than ever, I'm sure.
Okay.
The miracle of gauze, yes.
Yes. Elton, talk to me about Metallica for a second. You for charity, you are putting out a new album too.
Okay. Yep.
Notice how he stutters through that after Elton says gauze knows gauze.
Yes.
It's almost like Wendy Williams going wig knows wig.
Absolutely.
Because they both had plastic surgery. They've both been through the facial pullbacks and just, oh my God, the nose jobs.
Yeah, reconstructive surgery.
It is, the lipo.
Yep.
You name it. And all that stuff requires gauze, and Elton just puts it out there. I love Elton because, one, I know people will fight about him being not the sole songwriter of his songs. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
But he sings them, he plays them. I really admire him, and my daughter and I have this fascination with him because of this movie called Gnomeo and Juliet, which is like gnomes. It's a cartoon movie, and he does the whole soundtrack. So it kind of brings the younger generation into knowing Elton John and his music. And he uses all the classic songs and he plays them. And it was a really beautiful movie based on Romeo and Juliet. So I have nothing but love for Elton, but it's the way that he handles Wiggy, because Wiggy asked him about like phallic statue that Ed Sheeran gave him, and we'll get into that. But go ahead.
We're gonna play. We're gonna play right now.
Only have you for a few minutes. But I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about what I read. Everyone is talking about it. Your friend Ed Sheeran recently gave you a gift of a giant penis statue. The whole world wants to know, where is that and what's happening with the giant penis statue?
I'm actually sitting on it, Howard.
I knew it. I knew it. That's why I asked. You do that so well.
That's why I'm in such a good mood. No.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he plays right into Wiggy's hand. But he's smarter than Wiggy, and Wiggy knows it. So he doesn't really challenge him too much.
No, he can't.
Other than trying to get in a few jibes here and there, and it just goes nowhere.
Yeah. Number 9, Lars never sounded better.
It was, we had to show people that there was more, to what we were doing. And it was the perfect time because we were at this reset and these crossroads. And it was time to and shed a little bit of that toughness that you were talking about. I think we were.
Love that.
So good.
Oh, man.
Okay. Now
that's
this
like a direct podcast. I'm sorry, but that's like direct to podcast because that tells me it's pre-recorded. So
yeah.
Hey guys on Patreon and podcast, how you doing?
Yeah. NPD plus ADHD plus senility plus projection X by a 79 IQ equals another shitty interview.
I'm still learning. I'm teachable, super teachable at 50. Where am I? I don't remember. 58. And
are you 58?
I think so.
Wow, that's unbelievable. You're 58. Go figure it out. No, I ask about sobriety because I think Miley, and by the way, Miley, I want to compliment you. Your outfit at Lollapalooza, you had that Gucci outfit on?
Yes, yeah.
Very, very.
Okay, let me let it play through.
Attractive. Now listen, I complimented myself beforehand. I look at you in a fatherly way. When you put on
heard.
Yeah. When I am telling you, I mean, your mom, your mom I would do in a second if she'd have me. Have you guys met Miley's mom?
No.
You don't want your mom with Metallica?
No. I just played Bottle Rock, and I went on at the same time.
Okay, well, like, Jesus Christ. All right, whatever. Okay, I've got nothing to say to that. Number 11. Oh, yeah, please, go ahead.
All I have to say is he noticed her Gucci outfit, which is something he would have wanted to have worn if he were her. Like, that's his whole agenda is admiring young girls.
Yeah.
In whatever facet, whether trans or regular or whatever you call it.
Mm-hmm.
And he brings himself to this point where he's got to notice fashion.
Mm-hmm.
He has to notice sexuality. He has to notice like who he'd bang and who he wouldn't. No one's asking for that.
Wait.
But Miley's mother is notorious for inserting herself into situations with celebs and hobnobbing. So I will allow him that much, but for him to say like, I wouldn't bang you, like, not necessary.
No.
Just
leave it alone.
Why even bring that up?
Hey.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Great Gucci outfit. Hey, it's bang o'clock. Just remind people that I'm not El Fruto. Number 11, backhand to Wiggy's nap, then kissing his ass to make up for it.
Put any pressure on you guys at all. I mean, come on. But anyway, this is
thanks for letting us cut into your meditation time, Howard.
Meditation time. You don't know. You guys are wise asses. You're all still relatively young.
No. Honestly, I know
Howard,
you need.
I've admitted,
having a structure is important.
I love that they fucking busted his balls for that.
And I am actually saying thank you and I hope you get your time in that you need.
And Howard,
okay, I don't think we need to go more into that
Fuckers.
one. Okay,
Nice.
number 12. Creature describes him perfectly.
What has happened to me? I've become such a creature of habit that whenever we do something, listen, I wanted to come through for you guys. I didn't want to be sort of low energy. So, whatever. Forget about me. Let's do this. Celebrate this band. Let's celebrate Miley with the band and try it. And Miley, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
Oh, you're so zen, Wiggy. You're just so fucking perfectly zen.
Way to pump her up.
Exactly. Number 13, Bob Rock's Marbles versus Wiggy's Nut.
Who produced the album? I read somewhere. Whatever he owned of in other words, when you guys make an album, everybody owns a little chunk of the publishing or whatever. He sold his piece of the Black Album. And to me, that's surprising only in that if I owned the piece of the Black Album, which, I mean, ka-ching, in terms of publishing, I would never do it because I would get a check every year.
He's such motivated by artistic.
Like private parts.
Well, that was the one. Did you remember that article I read in one of the breakdowns where he wanted upfront money for the Fart Man movie, and regardless of how it was going to perform.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm like, he didn't even want a piece of it. That means he had zero faith that it would do well. And that's always been his MO. Money first, don't count on me to fucking deliver, which is such a self-defeating way to be. That means, and in my opinion, that's not him. That's Buchwald knowing that he's got a hack on his hands and he has to take the money and run because he can't guarantee Howard has the talent to pull anything off. Or work ethic. I should say that too.
Right. It's always money up front with him. And then it's, he loves getting checks. Like he would brag about getting checks from Private Parts,
97 cents or something. 79
Son
cents.
of the Beach. Even if they were like, 11 cents, 79 cents. I love that.
Right. Yeah.
Or whatever amount. He cashed them and he thought it was the greatest thing because it made him relevant. But it doesn't really. It's just banking math.
Yeah.
It's not like you're worth anything other than, oh, fuck, we owe this guy some bullshit money.
Yeah.
Let's just throw him $1 every month and shut him up.
Pretty much.
Would just, would basically pay my entire nut. So to me, isn't that surprising to you? Did you talk to Bob about that? Why he sold his piece of the album?
Well, I talked a little.
They're clearly very uncomfortable talking about someone else's fucking financial. Who knows? I mean, Christ's sake.
Right.
Bob Rock's. I don't know how busy he is in his older age now. Like he's got to be in his 60s at this point. And producers, well, music isn't the business it used to be. So, and before he dies, maybe get rid of it because it isn't making so much money for him anymore. Maybe it's worth more to him to sell than to hold on to it. Stupid. At any rate, number 14, Wiggy's gay gun stuns Metallica.
You guys. But did you hear that story? Remember, I don't know if you guys ever heard that. I went to your show and I only got laid that night, but I pulled two of us pulled our friend's pants off. It was like very erotic. It was a dude's pants we took off. And we got so charged up from your concert appearance that we literally started pulling our friend's pants off. And I don't know.
Okay, and let that one go.
What that means. Yeah. Yeah, it was really weird. I was super heterosexual that night and super gay that night. I was both things.
Do you know what your music does to people?
It makes me crazy.
We're happy to elicit any response. And that's great. I mean, that's
as Kirk
awesome.
says, that's when you know you're a professional musician.
What a great PR response. We're glad to elicit any response from anybody. Basically saying, shut the fuck up. Don't give us this gay rap because our music is total hetero.
Yeah.
You're ruining us.
Save this for
shut up.
Save this for the Rob Halford interview. Number 15, 79 stumbles over military time.
You may forget.
What time is it?
I don't even know.
Do you know? I got a clock here, but it's in those weird.
2:41.
Oh. I got a clock here, but it says 14:41, and I'm like, I don't know how to do that shit.
Oh, that's military time. That's 2:41 in military time.
Go ahead.
I almost think he's trolling us, but then a part of me says, no, he's not trolling us. He's really that stupid that he doesn't know after all these weeks and months and years now of using a military clock, unless it's new and they just installed it for him. And for some reason, they didn't know better than to put a real clock with 12-hour cycles in it for him.
Right. When it's, 1:12 p.m. and 1:12 a.m., he always seems to fixate on the clock for some reason. Let's continue with number 16. Wig wash screws up schedule.
Just because we're doing a show at noon, I got it all worked out. I'll get up, go for my walk, eat my breakfast, go for a walk, come back, eat lunch, take a little snooze,
Snooze. Guys, did you know there's an extra CH in there?
Lunch like 10:30, take a snooze, and then interview Metallica. I got it all figured out.
What time would not lunch normally be?
He also used to do that with smear, and he made it schmear.
Shamir. Yeah.
Yeah.
11. So I figured I'd get in a half hour earlier.
Zeppelin.
Yeah. And then I fucked up my whole schedule. We went for the walk. It started pouring on us. We were soaking wet. I went on too long a walk.
I love this. I love this.
Okay.
And so you got caught in the rain and it was hard to get back because it's just...
Yeah, then I had a shower.
Helping you.
I washed my hair before the Metallica interview, and it's looking a little gelled and tight.
So you're very curly today, yes.
Exactly.
Because of the rain?
Yeah.
Well, I washed my hair
that's it.
It's tight. It's a fucking SOS pad at best. Christ almighty.
Which I never make the mistake of doing. Everything was off today because I washed my hair, and that's why it all looks super curly. I look like I don't know.
Who was that little kid with frizzy hair? Nancy in the
Nancy. Yeah, I look like the woman Nancy in that old cartoon. That's what.
You look more like a little orphan Annie. Number 17. Wig washer wanted. Wiggy without glam team.
That's what I look like. Okay. I'm sure. Do me a favor when you chop up that Metallica interview. Don't show me. I don't have hair. I don't have my glam team here. I don't have a glam team like Robin does.
You are your own glam team.
I'm my own glam team.
And it takes time.
And guys, by the way, I'm going to insert in here a video of something that Cormano from Reddit put together, which was a video montage of him over some hair discussion from someone else. And it's one of the early days on Zoom or whatever, or maybe the April of 2020, let's say, when his camera got better, or late, maybe even later when they finally got dedicated cameras in their proper ones. And it's his wig's pulled back, so you can see all this dead, like empty space on his scalp from the middle of his head to going forward. And there's just no debating it. So I want to thank Cormano for putting that together, and I'm going to appropriate some of that footage without the audio, just so you can see exactly how obvious it is. Yeah.
No, it's great. I mean, we've seen all phases of the wig so far.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even some that go like to the middle of the top of his head. And the wig just hangs off the back of it. Like, I don't even know how to describe that. Sam's so much better at metaphors. But
it's like if my wife
and there's a couple tendrils.
Yeah, well, it's almost like Beth threw it across the room at his head, and that's where it landed, and that'll do.
Right. There'll be like 3 or not even 3. There'll be like 1, maybe 2 tendrils pulled down to cover his forehead, but you can see like the whole top of his scalp.
Yes.
While he's going on and on and on about whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was all off balance today. You know, everything has to be just right for me not to be gross. I have to have the hair at the right time. I have to sleep on my hair. It's a whole thing to put together this look of mine. You know. So,
yeah.
this messed him up so badly that he got rained on. He was not prepared. He had no umbrella. He had no hoodie. He had nothing. And it just fucked up his whole day. And I love this so much. That's why I clipped it. I thought it was great that he couldn't prepare his wig properly for an interview. And we had to hear about it. Like, don't even tell us. Just try to skate by, for fuck's sake. And maybe we won't notice. Maybe we won't watch that stupid video that you put up of like 5 of the Metallica and Miley videos. But no, you talked about it, so we looked at it, and I can probably send you a clip if you need, or a screenshot.
Sure. Screen cap would be great.
How bad it was it was bad that day.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't his worst, but it was bad.
Okay.
It was worse back to the early Zoom days when he had nobody around.
Oh, God. Fuck you, number 18. Fuck you. I don't have any plans.
You know. What are you doing this weekend? Anything?
I am so sick of people asking me, you got any plans for the weekend?
Well, I know you have no plans.
I don't have any plans.
Kick him, fuck him up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
When I say, what are you doing this weekend, I mean, which TV shows are you going to be watching? You know what I mean. I didn't want to embarrass you by saying, what television will you be watching once we get off the air?
So he just outed her and himself as being just these two lumps on a fucking Chesterfield watching whatever TV that they constantly watch. And I'm not criticizing them for that, guys. During a pandemic, yes, loads of people are being more shut in than normal. I mean, that's not the issue. It's just be upfront about it. Don't talk about how you're preparing for a show. Go ahead.
How angry is she at him that she can't go anywhere? She can't go to Napa. She can't go to, well, God forbid, India or South America or get ayahuasca.
She can't Peru,
She can't go do her wine testing. She can't go anywhere.
No.
And this is all because of him. Because if he finds out, and he will, because we know he watches his staff and what they're doing, then she's screwed. Like, he's going to blast her out on the radio and threaten her, basically.
But
like,
do you think
indirectly, passive aggressively?
Do you think if she goes, she gets it worse on the air? I think she gets it off air. I think that's when she really will get it from him.
I think she's going to get both.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be terrible no matter what, and she knows it, and she's not willing to risk it. And we don't know the state of her health.
No,
but
we don't.
I think her state of health might be the reason that they pre-record some of the shows. I really do. I can't think of anything else unless doctor appointments for him.
Yeah.
And his cataracts, his dowager hump, his plastic surgery, or her, with whatever she's got going on, his cholesterol. I mean, he seems to have more issues than her right now. So I don't know what to think.
Well, we discussed it at a previous breakdown, but the other thing would be people in LA who have to be recorded at a certain time. So that's going to get plugged into some day during a future week and then at a weird time. And hence why we're going to get that disconnect between clips.
Robin's got quite the television itinerary. Because you live alone, when you eat dinner, do you have the TV on as well? I mean, the TV's constantly on, right?
Not constantly. Sometimes it's not on, but generally, I eat my meals in front of the TV.
Yeah, that's what I would do. If Beth was...
Okay, go ahead.
That's also a projection by him.
Yep.
Of him eating by the TV. Like,
alone.
I can picture him on a TV tray.
Yep.
With, Dancing with the Stars going on and him fast forwarding and then like gobbling up a bunch of broccoli and salmon or whatever he's eating.
Oh, yeah.
I'm being generous by broccoli and salmon, by the way.
You just described a buffet in his house. Number 19, last one, Robin's new hobby, FG, which I didn't understand the acronym, but we'll play it.
But I don't watch TV shows all the time. I have another hobby, and I'm watching different things.
We should tell people your hobby. You got to hear this.
We shouldn't.
No? You don't want to?
No, not today.
Okay, not today. That's a tease. Next week, I'm going to talk about Robin's hobby.
I need to work up to revealing that.
I'll only give you a hint. Robin is an FG.
What the hell did they never went past this, did they?
No, this is still a puzzle in my mind. I'm trying to figure this one out. I have no idea. And I would love to hear in the comments section anybody who might know what FG could mean.
Yeah, if anybody has any ideas, I mean, and yes, I know, like feed grain. I don't know, food gnashing. I don't know, something. If you figure out what the acronym is, by all means, feel glum. I don't know. You figure it out and let us know what your thoughts are in the comments section. Let's play it out.
An FG.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
That's your hobby. Think about it.
I got it. I figured it out.
You got it. Okay.
Because I was like, what? What did I do now? No, I got it.
Maybe you should eat dinner now. The Rifleman's on MeTV right now.
No, you know what? This is very disappointing.
Foot grooming? I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. I have no idea.
Maybe food games? I don't know. It blows my... It's mind-blowing, Fillmore. It's weird.
It is.
I can't tell you, like, how much time I spent trying to figure that one out, and it just didn't come to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Nothing was in the thread?
No.
Yeah.
No. Guys, we welcome your thoughts, and if this one goes a little too long and manages not to get cut by YouTube, we apologize for those who prefer them shorter. For those who like it longer, well, you got what you asked for. You got what you wanted. In the meantime, thank you guys so much for being loyal fans. We love you. Keep the comments coming in. Join us on Facebook, but remember to answer the questions when you try to get in, and don't be a smartass about it. Otherwise, you will not be allowed in. And that's about it from us. So, Raven, any closing thoughts, my dear?
Nope. Love it. Thank you. See you guys next time.
Have a good one, guys. We love you. Take care.
To dismantle
rip them apart.
I like Artie.
So let's say people
Robin.
work for Robin,
Yes.
and let's say they can't work with Robin. And Robin will not see their point of view, right? She will only see her own.
That's exactly that.
Is that a case with you and me?
No, absolutely not. But
Because Howard's famous. But that's because Howard's enormously famous.
What are you talking about? He wasn't enormously famous when I met him.
Yeah, but he was your ticket.
No, I was thinking
My
about...
ticket? God knows he was my ticket to hell.
I was thinking...